Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, your home for fearless commentary, deep dives, and sharp political analysis on South African and African current affairs. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a story that shapes our continent. Today, we cover a historic moment in African leadership and diplomacy, a moment that could reshape the political and economic future of Southern Africa. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has officially welcomed Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, the new president of Namibia, to Pretoria for a highly significant bilateral meeting at Mahlamba Ndlopfu, the official residence of the president. Now, this isn't just another diplomatic visit with red carpets and rehearsed photo ops. It's a symbolic and strategic milestone. Why? Because Dr. Nandi-Ndaitwah is Namibia's first female head of state, and this visit marks her first official international trip since taking office. And the fact that she chose South Africa first. That sends a strong signal. Namibia and South Africa are aligning their priorities for regional transformation. A liberation legacy reignited. The visit was more than a formality. It was a powerful reminder of shared history. South Africa and Namibia aren't just neighbors, they share deep-rooted ties through the liberation struggle. Both countries fought bitter, painful battles against colonial and apartheid rule. And today, that shared past is being transformed into a vision of shared progress. Ramaphosa himself emphasized this, saying the meeting was a reaffirmation of our long-standing solidarity, built on mutual respect, regional unity, and economic cooperation. But in a region facing economic stagnation, climate stress, and rising youth unemployment, that solidarity now needs to deliver real results. And Dr. Nandi-Ndaitwah wasn't shy either. In a clear call for strategic action, she declared, "Our collaboration must be people-centered and strategic, not symbolic." A direct challenge to the empty diplomacy that too often defines post-liberation politics in Africa. Women in power, a historic first with real implications. Let's not overlook how monumental this is. Dr. Nandi-Ndaitwah is the first woman to lead Namibia and one of just a few female heads of state in Africa's modern history. That matters. Not just as a symbolic victory for gender equality, but as a tangible shift in how power is distributed, how decisions are made, and whose voices are centered in shaping national policy. For young African girls, this is proof that leadership is no longer a male preserve. And for the continent at large, it forces institutions to rethink outdated patriarchal power structures. But leadership is about more than gender, it's about delivery. And this meeting laid down serious groundwork for economic and structural transformation. The core agenda, real talks, real plans. So what exactly was discussed behind those closed doors at Mahlamba Ndlopfu? The bilateral talks touched on major issues that are crucial to both countries and the Southern African Development Community, SADC. Trade and cross-border investment. Infrastructure development, roads, transport corridors, and connectivity. Energy cooperation, especially around renewables and hydrogen. Youth employment and digital innovation. Science and technology partnerships. Environmental resilience and climate action. Regional peace and stability. This wasn't a wish list, it was a practical roadmap. Both South Africa and Namibia are aiming to position themselves as continental leaders in the global green economy and digital transformation. These are high-stakes ambitions, especially with Western powers and China aggressively expanding their economic footprints in Africa. But what makes this unique is the Pan-African orientation behind it. Ramaphosa and Nandi-Ndaitwah aren't just thinking about bilateral trade, they're pushing for greater integration across the region, creating self-reliance through African-led industrialization. The Binational Commission, reviving the engine of cooperation. One of the most important outcomes of the visit was the revitalization of the Binational Commission, BNC, between South Africa and Namibia. For years, this mechanism has existed but lacked momentum. Now, both presidents have committed to reinvigorating it to monitor joint projects and expand areas of collaboration. This is crucial. Without functioning institutions, no matter how good the rhetoric, progress stalls. The BNC will now track implementation, hold departments accountable, and ensure that bilateral efforts go beyond lip service. It's the difference between declarations and delivery, and African citizens are watching closely. Cross-border realities, making policy work for people. President Ramaphosa hit the nail on the head when he said, "The daily lives of our people who travel, trade, and work across our borders are what make our bilateral ties strong." And that's the core truth. It's not about presidential statements. It's about ordinary people whose livelihoods depend on cross-border cooperation. From farmers in the Northern Cape to traders in Windhoek, citizens need borders that enable, not restrict, their survival. These talks focus not just on macroeconomics, but also on the people-to-people dimension of regional integration. Cultural exchange, tourism development, and education partnerships are all part of the plan to strengthen social bonds and foster a regional identity that goes beyond flags and borders. Africa's moment, a better Africa, better world. This meeting comes at a turning point. The continent is at a crossroads. On one side, we have economic dependency, political stagnation, and rising inequality. On the other, we have leaders calling for a new era of Pan-African cooperation, built on innovation, sovereignty, and self-reliance. The Ramaphosa Nandi-Ndaitwah engagement is part of a broader momentum behind the African Continental Free Trade Area (AfCFTA) and a shift toward African-driven diplomacy that puts African solutions to African problems at the center. In the context of a multipolar world, with growing tensions between the West, Russia, and China, Africa's unity and agency are becoming more important than ever. Final thoughts: what happens now? Dr. Nandi-Ndaitwah's presidency marks a new chapter not only for Namibia but for African leadership. Her visit to South Africa is symbolic, but more importantly, it's strategic. If South Africa and Namibia succeed in transforming this alliance into action, through green energy, digital industrialization, and job creation, then this meeting could be remembered as the catalyst for a Southern African renaissance. But if these commitments fade into the background, it'll be yet another missed opportunity in a continent that cannot afford to waste time. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this the beginning of real change? Can Namibia and South Africa lead the way toward a stronger, more united Africa? Or will history repeat itself with big words and little follow-through? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss an update on Africa's most important political stories. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, see you next time.